Get my 6. What's up, guys? I don't really have a story to tell because I'm excited about something else. My mind has been consumed for some time now with a different matter, but now we're down to the final hours. So try as hard as I could today to try to think of something to come up here and talk about, maybe some spooky thing that happened years ago, or some life lesson I've learned along the way. All I could continue to focus on is my beautiful bride Dearly, aka Giggly Girl, and our wonderful son Daniel coming home. So I can now report very good news. It's already after 8 p.m. on Friday, and I'm recording because I wanted to wait until I definitely got definitive confirmation of this. But Dearly and Daniel are now officially on their way home from the Philippines back to the U.S. They've made it to the airport and into the airport. They have checked in. They have cleared. They made it through to their gate. They're waiting to board their plane. The luggage that they've got their carry-ons, of course, but any checked baggage has been sent off, with the conveyor to be boarded on the plane, and so now we wait. But this is good news, as you know if you've been following the channel. They were stuck over there 3 weeks longer than we knew they'd be guaranteed to be there, but we knew because of the current situation with the pandemic and everything, and then just travel being as it is, and anything can happen in life. You always got to put the real life factor in there. We knew there was no guarantee that it would be only a 2-month long trip, so it ended up being almost a 3-month long trip. And yes, I'm walking backwards for a reason. Keep getting my 6. And as I get closer to the wood's edge, I'll get more and more quiet, and you know why. So this is good news. Did I learn any deep, heartfelt, made for late night, smooth jazz radio lessons in the absence of my family for almost 3 months? Yeah, I saw that. Keep watching. It's not that I learned anything. I just had things I already knew confirmed. Those things being, because I've got a great place here. I mean, look, let me give you the 360 panoramic. And we're not to the top yet where you can get the best view, but I'll give you a view. 6 acres in central Virginia, pond full of fish, orchards full of fruit trees, garden spots, all kinds of stuff. More food in the house than we can eat. Bills are paid, got a few bucks left over after they've been paid. And I'd trade it all in a heartbeat if I had to live under a bridge in a box with my wife and my kid. And this is something we've talked about always, because we were this far away from living in a box under a bridge together anyway in the Philippines. Fortunately, it was tropical, and we did have a very tiny bamboo hut, not much bigger than a box, that we lived in. No electricity, no water, no money, living off of the food we dug up from the soil in the jungle, the fruits on the trees, the fish we could get in the mornings by helping the fishermen carry their boats in. And by the way, Dearly did go back to the province where we did live for some time over there and where she grew up. Here's the view. We're up at the top now. It's not so hot. Well, it's still 88 degrees, but the humidity's dropped. So forgive me for breathing a bit hard there. Coming up that hill. I'm not out of shape. It's just kind of hot and humid. But Daniel, while they were in the Philippines, this is one of the things I'm happiest about his experience over there. He would go out in the mornings at 5 o'clock in the morning, 5:30 in the morning, because see, the fishermen go out at night. The fish are nocturnal, or at least the fish they catch, and they catch a lot of squid. So they go out about an hour before the sun sets, and then they come back about an hour after the sun's come up, or as the sun's coming up. And if you go out and meet up with these fishermen as they come in from the sea, and you carry their boats, help them lift their boats up, because it takes about 10 or 12 people to do this, the fishermen will give you a handful of fish. Maybe they'll give you 1 fish, maybe they'll give you 2 or 3. And Daniel did that for the 2 or 3 weeks they were out there in that province. And I'm so happy he got to have that experience, because when we lived there, I did that every morning so we could eat. Now at first, and I've shared this story before, a lot of the fishermen, they wouldn't give me fish because they thought I was there to help for the fun of it. I wanted to have the experience. I was a tourist, wanted to get the experience. And when I explained to them, well, yeah, I mean, it's kind of neat to have this experience, but I also need that fish to eat because I don't have any money and we're hungry and we don't have any food. It didn't take them long to realize I was telling the truth. And bless their hearts to commend them after they realized I was being honest. When they'd see me out there in the mornings, they always gave me more fish than they gave everybody else, and they would always tell me it's because I was big Americano and I needed to eat more food because I was a bigger guy. Bless their hearts. That fed us. And at the time, we had no options. So now, Dearly and Daniel are over there. So he's doing it. He's getting the experience. And, of course, we're in a much better situation, so they didn't depend upon that to eat. But it's nice that he got that experience because he got to see how so many other people live. And that's what another, the most important part of this trip was so that Dearly and Daniel could see her parents again for the first time in 5 years, her siblings and cousins and nieces and nephews and all this. But also, we were going to go back last year, but then COVID hit, and so we had to put it off. But we were able to get Dearly and Daniel back this year. I couldn't go because I'm not a Filipino national, and they had incoming traffic closed for non-Filipino nationals because of COVID. I get it. I get that. Understand it. They're trying to protect themselves, okay, from bringing it in from the outside. But we still wanted him to get over there because where we live now, I am so grateful. I praise God daily that I live here. I'm grateful and thankful that the majority of the people around me will never know what it's like to miss a meal. We're living very well in a nice area where other people are living very well. Something I've been able to see through different eyes, having lived the third world lifestyle for almost a decade and coming back, is this. I think there are so many people in the world who are in really nice places like here, who have, since they've never known what it's like to miss a meal, they don't question where's their next meal coming from. There seems to be a tendency to take a lot of things for granted. Things that here we might think, well, of course I have this. Of course I have a kitchen full of food. Why wouldn't I have a kitchen full of food? My mom works, my dad works, or, the family's been successful for generations. We've never been without means, so why should I be grateful because I have food in my house? That's normal. Once upon a time, I probably felt like that myself because that had always been my normal. Coming from a first world, the United States of America, okay? Even no matter how tough sometimes might have been once during the 70s, during that Great Recession when Carter was in office. I lived through that as a child. But my worst days then were better than my best days when I was living in those other places. And so my son got to see that. And that's very important because I truly believe that where there is no gratitude, there's entitlement. If you're not grateful for the basics in your life, the basics that are needed to sustain your life, if you're not grateful for that, then you are pretty much kind of entitled. You think you're entitled to this. None of us are. And it's not by fault. I'm not viewing this as if that's a character defect or a lack of character in folks that might think this way, because if that has always been your normal, I can see where it would be easy to think that way. But we wanted to make sure our son, because he grew up his first 5 years of his life there, then he's been here the last 5. We want to make sure you remember. And it's because, for me, when I'm able to focus on being grateful for the things that I have, I find that I never put any thought into things I think I need or that I want. Because when I focus on being grateful for what I have, I see that my cup already runneth over. And within hours now, a lot of hours, I'm going to have the 2 most important pieces to the puzzle back here. It's not the house, it's not the land, it's not the fields, it's not the pond with the fish and the orchards and the food in the house and the money in the bank. It's the people that I love more than any other thing in existence that is the motivation behind having it all in the first place, and with whom I could live without any of it. I hope you have someone like that in your life too. If you are blessed. Please please be sure to give thanks to the one that has given you those blessings. See you for more next time. From here to PBS. S. The potential Bigfoot Sasquatch. Did you hear that? Show.